So the reason why I had to go through this talk of talent, personality trait, personality disorder, and all that is that sometimes people mistake talent for personality traits and disorder. You could see that some people they have some personality issues, right? And some have personality disorders like antisocial behavior and all that. But then those things are carried on social media, are carried on content blogs and all of that, and then amplified, and then those people appear to be um, looked on as celebrities or influencers or something like that, you know. Whereas it wasn't that they have any talent, it wasn't that they doing anything special. It's just that they've developed some behavioral traits that are um, unique to them, could be odd behavioral traits, and then they're now being hailed as celebrities, as influencers. So it's important not to confuse a talent or a skill with a behavioral trait or a personality trait or a personality disorder which has been amplified via social media and all that and now being regarded as a talent, right? Then I've made the point that some people develop some persona, a persona, a character, which they use in a peculiar way to draw attention, to act in movies and all that. I gave the example of Jennifer, Funke Akindele, Jennifer character, you know, that persona in Jennifer series. Then you have the great um, Zebediah in the new Masquerade series, that persona. Then we have Medea. Then we could have, you look at Pella, he has this persona of being able to talk in a certain way, and then that attracts a following. Just like you see Taoma doing Mama Tao and other characters in comedic content, then Mr. Macaroni, you know, acting in a certain way and maintains that form throughout a particular set of his series of its content videos, influencing and all of that. So you could have personal development, and in a way, if somebody is able to develop a unique persona that the person uses across different platforms, across different videos and all that, we could see that the person has, has honed a talent, has developed a talent, and has been able to maintain it. Then you have the raw talent. You have the inborn talent that you know when you see this person has raw talent, and that talent can be developed to become a perfect skill, or you could learn a skill, right? And it becomes a talent for you. So, for example, we have Paul Okoye, a rude boy that has raw talent. We have Wande Cole, musician, raw talent, has a voice and he was able to hone it. Just like you have Harold Kelly, talented, and honed its talent, was a successful musician before all the fallout of the things he did. Then you have Jackson, and all that. You have someone like Frankie Doe, you see a talent in public speaking, in hosting, and stuff like that. Then you can have learned skills like those who can play multiple instruments, like you have a Madi Kuti. Then, as I've said, you could have some personality traits. There's personality traits that are in favor of certain entertainment in certain parts of the entertainment industry. Like some people that have personality traits of being funny, when you describe the person, say, ah, that's a funny guy. The guy is always funny, he's always making us laugh and stuff like that. You could have such personality trait, and then you now have an opportunity of having a platform to now use that trait, and now perform, right? You could see like many comedians, like those who are on doing content on social media. Many of them have this personality traits of being funny, of being able to do certain things. It's not that it's a talent in itself. It's just that they have these traits, and somebody was able to, like, they did a video and, oh, people liked it, and then they keep doing it, and all that, and then you know they get this following. But then it's a personality trait they have. It's a behavioral trait they have, and that is why you see that some people behave in a certain manner. It's shown on social media, and people love it. You understand? The personality trait is not really a talent, but they have certain unique behavioral characteristics, and which could be modified to be something that you could use to entertain people, and all that. So, like, if you look at many comedians, right, there are those that the stand-up comedy, many stand-up comedy, many of them are real talented comedians, right? They have this they have it in them. The funny, when you look at someone like Agodai, so natural comedian. Okay, Bakasi, you have those natural comedians. Then you have those who, as if they are forced into comedy, you know, those who just, maybe they're looking for what to do, and they now find themselves in that space. And then when you watch them, you know that this one is not really inborn, right? It's just something they do to make ends meet, by the way. So you can have things like that. The point I'm trying to make is that we should be able to distinguish between what is a talent, what is a personality trait or behavioral trait which is being marketed, to an audience, and then it's being seen as a talent, and then some traits could be modified, becomes a talent. Some, it just the ability of the managing team, to use that, behavior and project it in such a way that people see it as, oh, this is funny, this is entertaining, and stuff, you know. So that is one point. And then we know that some people, because of the environment they are in, and because of having certain connections, they having certain opportunities, then they are able, when they grow up in some environments, like you see some people that, you look at this streaming, like we see Kataifi and a number of people who grow up in an environment where there's a lot of music, there's a lot of entertainment going on, and they pick up one or two things which they are able to use and maybe create something for themselves, So you could get the right opportunity, the right environment, right connection, right exposure, and you do some things. But it's not as if the person has a talent. It's not the person has certain things that, they are suited for that. But then the environment you adapt to the environment, and you get something from it. You get something off that environment and use it to project something. And if you are fortunate, that thing may just go wide. So the point I'm trying to make, at the expense of repeating myself, is that we should look at these things, carefully, so that we don't really give or due credence to certain things. Now everyone has, you have a phone, you make a video, you post it online, you make content and stuff like that. And then some things that should just be seen, oh, this person is just behaving this way, right? But we now see it as a talent. And when we see that as a talent, then when there are situations the person has to now, you go abroad or go somewhere, like you see some people go to certain contests. I don't want to be very specific now. There are certain things you do on social media, right? And some people make content on social media, they say, oh, we laugh and all that. But when they go to a stage, when it's to a competition, right? They're not able to transpose that content they make on social media, make for social media. They're not able to transpose it to an audience, a live audience. They're not able to do that. On social media, content you make on social media, you plan it, you script it, you work on it, you may make several videos, then you edit it and it comes out, the finished product looks fine, right? But if you have to perform live, even no matter how well you prepare for it, you have to, when you go on live, there are certain things you have to react to it. There are certain things that cannot be scripted. Audience reaction cannot be scripted. How you respond to the words that people throw at you and stuff like that cannot be scripted. And so there is difficulty in them transposing what they do for content into performing for a live audience. And then we'll now say, oh, this person is not doing well. The fact is, what the person is doing, the person has an audience for it and is going for the person. The person doesn't really need to now change and say, okay, I have to do a stand up or I have to do a live performance, because that's not the thing. What the person has wasn't really a talent. The person was just doing something which people loved, and then had a lot of following and people loved it and stuff like that. But it's not as if there was a specific skill involved or something. So we should be conscious of all these things so that we don't give unnecessary credence to certain things, overhype certain things, overhype certain people, and then when this gets so overhyped, when certain situations like speed coming to Nigeria, when that situation arises, because they've been so overhyped, they fail to realize that this is a different thing. This is a different scenario, and so have to adjust to what this scenario is. Becomes a problem. So they want to keep doing the same thing like they've done in other settings in their streams or videos or something like that. They want to now force it into a different, uniquely different situation, and we see how that doesn't pan out very well.